Greetings, adventurers of the realm. Welcome back to another monster building stream of Swordplay and Sorcery. My name is Jakin. I hope you're doing well. Let's say hello to some people. It's been, I think I did not do one last week because I was tired and a lot was going on that week. A lot of work, a lot of life. Just, I was tired. Galaxy Fox Night Sky, hello friend. Ryan is here, good evening to you. Oh man, I'm excited for tonight. I'm excited to flex some muscles a little bit. Also, just generally excited. It's been an interesting few days, an interesting mix of feelings with TTRPGs in general. Glenn, how you doing? I've got half an hour before I start running DC20 West March's Curse of Strahd session. Glenn, I am so excited to hear about it and see what all you're doing. I'm super pumped. Lunar Pierce, what's up? Oh man, yeah. That West Marches server has been a treasure trove of information of just how different GMs run the game. Very insightful. This chair is a lot taller. There we go. We shrunk a little bit. I wish I could join, but I eventually need to sleep sort of on time. Yeah, you do. There's gonna be a VOD. Today will probably be a short one. I mean, it might be short unless we decide to get another monster in. But I'm not gonna lie to you. So the Intellect Devourer is what we're working on today. But the next request that we have from the server to work on, ready for this? Drum roll, please. Is Tiamat. Somebody has requested that we build Tiamat for DC20. Which I'm conflicted about. We're gonna do it. We're gonna make Tiamat, but my understanding is Coach has a very specific way he wants to handle dragons in DC20. I kind of want to wait until we know what dragons are supposed to look like, embody, what kind of vibe they're supposed to have before we do Tiamat, but it is what it is. P.S. Public service announcement, like the live chat. Come here. Man, if you don't listen to Glenn and like this live chat, I'll find you. That's not a threat. Anyways. Malzor, what's up, dude? Tiamat would be fun, but if you do Tiamat, you also need to do Bahamut. I agree. I have not a proper sized Bahamut miniature, but I have a tiny Bahamut that I used in an old campaign that I printed. So like, I would kind of feel obligated to do Bahamut as well. I got to continue my DC20 spell and maneuver cards. My previous versions were hard to read with the font size. I don't have my spell cards I printed next to me. No, they're back at the game table. But I printed cards that look very similar to the 5e spell cards that they released. Just formatted them a little bit different for DC20. Dude, the hardest part about making a spell card for DC20 is that the spells are so clunky and wordy. It's so hard to fit all that information onto one playing card size. And it also didn't help that I printed the cards the wrong size. So as opposed to like your standard, like, I don't know, like a playing card, right? Like let's say a playing card is this, right? I accidentally printed them to like that. So they're almost like the size of like a tile piece, maybe like one more taller. Maybe that. Even that seems a little generous. Oh man. Where was I? DC20 spell cards. Tiamat should be fun. I agree. Time is a weird soup. Really is. Yo, Aegis, what's up? I think there are some unique lore related to humans in the DC20 lore. Humans? I missed that piece. I would love to know what's different about humans. Oh, about dragons. Love the Liam Neeson shots. Thank you. Dragon Gore Roar. If you do Tiamat Bahamut, I think Sardier as well. I forget Sardier exists. So, shoot, are we just going to do a whole dragon pantheon? You can do the D&D 5e conversions first, then DC20 reimagining once Dungeon Coach discloses the DC20. Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah, that's probably the way I should go. I had to reword some of them. I had to heavily reword them. And it was a hard thing, too, because it was like, okay, am I leaving anything important out? And how do I condense it to, like, the definition of, like, a magic card? I printed mine on tarot size cards. Ooh, I should have looked into tarot size. That's not a bad idea. Miss you too. Good seeing you in a stream. It's my brother. It's been crazy. What up, Glenn? Conkus is here. Hey, Conkus. Here, this is for you. I don't know if this is going to pick up, but we are drinking watermelon lemonade from Trader Joe's. Sparkling water. Here we go. Crazy. All right. Before we dive into everything, I want to show you guys a little bit of a sneak peek that the patrons got to see. So, as you know, I've been working on a DC20 actual play. It's going to be a limited series, 4 episodes, pre-recorded, edited, a lot of insert shots, art, B-roll, animations, all sorts of things. I haven't been able to update the patrons as much as I would love to, but the patrons have gotten a little bit of a sneak peek in the direction of how we're handling some of the battle cam stuff. So it's been a very back and forth process. I have a vision for what I want to do for battle sequences. Should we have more time and more money to be able to put towards this sort of thing in the future. But for right now, getting something out there for people to watch another version of how people play DC20, that's kind of my main priority. So in doing that, I was talking with one of our patron members who used to be an editor with me for One Shot Questers, and he used to do these really awesome Hero Forge animations. And I'm gonna load something up because I want you to be able to just see an example of what this looks like. Basically, it's not crazy animation, but in my opinion, it's just enough to kind of give a little bit of an idea of what is happening with this scene, right? Something you can kind of latch onto, but okay, that's what that is supposed to look like. Oh no, did I save it to the wrong thing? Okay, here it is. All right, so I've loaded this in. We're just gonna show off a little bit of a sneak peek of what we've been cooking. It's only a few seconds. Hold on, my whole monitor just went black. Are we good? Are we still here? My whole monitor went black for a second. Are we still live? Did I crash everything? Let's see, YouTube, or how are we feeling on YouTube? It says we're still live. Oh, okay, stream is still up. Okay. Woo! Okay, I was like, whoa. All right, without further ado, let me play this very short sneak peek. Patrons got to see it first, and now it's your turn. But an uneasy silence fills the hall. The Queen's advisors whisper nervously among themselves, their eyes darting to the massive doors at the far end of the room, where the Crown Guard can be heard shouting in pain with their dying breath. I'm going to throw this hat out of a window. No animation was with that. That was not even the right thing whatsoever. That was not even the right sneak peek at all. What the crap? I feel like a bully. I feel like I just bullied you guys. Yeah, check out this awesome thing that we made. Nope. Nope, you don't get to see anything. Golly. Alright. We're just going to do this a different way then. We're just going to pull it up on Patreon. Patrons got the early access. Now you guys get to see it. And then patrons are just going to have to see something cooler. Alright. So let's switch over to our little interactive screen. You have to switch things up for a second, because I'm very excited about this. Alright. So there it is. Alright. Now I don't believe sound is gonna play, but just check out what we're cooking right here. Okay, he's yapping. And then boom! That's it. That's a very small example of what I'm talking about. We're literally using Hero Forge to make animated little sequences where the characters will move, arms will move, heads will pivot, backgrounds will be blurred a little bit. It's literally like that. I should really get a full-blown sneak peek actually prepared. There's a whole sequence done. There's a whole shot list I have to do, and they take forever to make. So we have 22 animated shots that we have to finish in episode 1. And then we've done I think we've done 5. We've done 5 out of the 22. So still a little ways to go. But everything else is done. It's edited, the music is all there, the sound effects are there, all the graphics. It's literally just these animations. Then episode 1 is finished. Hero Forge stop motion? Kind of. That's actually the direction I wanted to head in originally. I wanted to print everything, build out a set that you would probably see at a table, right? Like something that you would see in person, and get a bunch of B-roll that way. The only problem is I don't really have my lights for videography. I do have them, but we use them at the studio for OSQ for work. So like I have them, but I don't have them. So I was like, okay, until I can properly get a good back and forth lighting system figured out, Hero Forge light stop motion animation kind of thing. That's gonna be the direction. He's wearing a hat. That could be the Intellect Devourer. All right. Speaking of Intellect Devourer, boom! Let's build this thing in DC20. I think we've heard me yap for quite enough. All right. Let's freaking do this thing. So the Intellect Devourer has an armor class of 13, 36 hit points, and a speed of 40 feet. That's fast. It's resistant to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical weapons. Conditions: blinded, exhaustion, frightened, paralyzed, poisoned. Has blind sight of 60 feet, passive perception of 12 feet. And it's going to be a level 3 for DC20. For our special traits, we have Mind Sense. The Intellect Devourer is aware of the presence of creatures within 300 feet of it that have an intelligence of 3 or higher. It knows the relative distance and direction of each creature, regardless of physical barriers. Creatures under the effects of magics that protect the mind cannot be detected by the Intellect Devourer. Very cool. We're going to ignore multi-attack because DC20 is a multi-attack system. Claws. We have Consume Mind. The Intellect Devourer chooses one creature it can see within 30 feet of it that has an intelligence of 3 or higher. Target must succeed on a DC13 intelligence saving throw or take 16 psychic damage. If the target fails the saving throw by 5 or more, its intelligence score is reduced to 0. The target is incapacitated until it regains at least 1 point of intelligence, either from completing a long rest or from a lesser restoration spell. And then we have Body Snatcher, which is the freaky cool ability. The Intellect Devourer chooses an incapacitated creature within 5 feet of it and engages it in a contest of intelligence. The Intellect Devourer overpowers the creature's mental defenses if it beats the target on a contested intelligence check. The Intellect Devourer magically consumes the creature's brain and teleports into its skull, taking full control of the target's body. While inside the creature's skull, the Intellect Devourer has total cover against attacks and other effects outside of the host. The Intellect Devourer retains its intelligence, wisdom, and charisma scores, as well as its comprehension of language, its telepathy, and its traits. Otherwise, it inherits the target's statistics, memories, and knowledge, including spells and languages. If the host body drops to 0 hit points, the Intellect Devourer must leave the host. It can be magically forced from the host body by means of a protection from evil and good spell being cast on the host. If the host's devoured brain is restored, only possible with the wish spell. Wow. The Intellect Devourer is forced out of the host. The Intellect Devourer can choose to leave the host at any time by spending 5 feet of its movement and then teleporting to an unoccupied space within 15 feet of the target unless its brain is restored within 1 round and the body dies. Oh man! We appreciate you. We know you're busy. We're taking those updates when we get them. I appreciate it. I cannot wait to share episode 1 with you guys. I think the way I want to do it, we kind of all agreed on stream that it should be released as a batch. So get everything finished and then release everything weekly. I kind of want to at least, because there's people supporting the Patreon, at least give them episode 1 when it finishes, but then hold off on the YouTube side of things until the batch is completed. Maybe. That's one of the things I'm thinking of. All right. Let's do this thing. So we are going to make a new sheet. We're going to rename this just for my Intellect Devourer. All right, and I'm just gonna copy and paste this template, which I need to make a version 3 of the template because I'm not happy with how thick some of the bars became in this. All right, so Intellect Devourer, size, type, and level and roll. This music is intense, right? This music is intense. Okay, so this is a tiny aberration, lawful evil. Okay, so tiny aberration, I think it's 2 B's, right? Tiny, oh no, 2 R's, my bad, oops. Tiny aberration, and we know it's a level 3. And as far as rolls go, I'm thinking we're gonna go with it's not a leader, it's not a lurker, it's not a skirmisher, support, DBS and curl, big ranged. I honestly think minion. I'm kind of thinking minion with this. These things are nasty. I just sent a bunch against my level 11 group. 2 of them failed the contest and were comatose the rest of the session. Been there. It's fun as a dungeon master to run those things. Patreon getting early access sounds perfectly reasonable. My fiance wanted one of these as a pet in Baldur's Gate 3. Wild. Really? As a pet? All right. Lunar Pierce, I ran a game where they were level 12 and the druid got his brain devoured, but the other characters missed it. So I told the player by DM to just play the Intellect Devourer playing him. There you go. They aren't minions? I know. I don't know what to make them, though. Because when I think of them as like their own thing, or you fight them alongside an Elder Brain or a Mind Flayer. It's definitely not a healer. Skirmisher, maybe. Maybe Lurker. Maybe a stealthy assassin. Ambushers or lurkers. All right, you crazy kids, have fun. Thanks for hanging out in the stream. Hope the rest of your day, night, evening, morning, afternoon goes well and is nice. I think Lurker, I think you're right. I think Lurker's probably the closest thing we'll get for now. So we'll say it's a level 3 Lurker. Because they're kind of lurking. They're just kind of waiting for something to happen. Alright, so now that we know it's level 3. Here, I'm just... That's a young cloud dragon. I used that in a session recently. Hehehe. Okay. So level 3. Alright. We want this to be minion, low, mid, high, or boss. I kind of think... I'm kind of leaning towards low for the level 3 stats, just because their features and attacks and actions and all that are going to do some crazy things that can be detrimental to a character. My vote is Lurker. There you go. Oh yeah, he'd have side missions as the Intellect Devourer, pretending to be him to mess with the party. That's creative. I love that. Yeah, I'm thinking lower mid. Probably nothing higher than that. I'll start with low, and if we need to go up, we'll go up. So we're going with 11, 11, and 8. – 11, 16, 21. Oh, no. No. Oh, there we go. Then we got 8. And 13. Then we got 18. And then 0, 0. All right. You know what? I want to give them a mystical damage resistance of 1. Just 1. Just to make it interesting. Resistances. Someone actually made a really good point with the Strahd stat block in the comment section about the way I did resistances, and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it since. Resistant to physical damage. Yeah, any physical damage from non-magical weapons. Because when we went with Strahd, right? He had resistances to every single physical damage. But I just I totally forgotten that in DC20 you can just categorize it all as just boom. It's just physical. So someone in the comment sections was like, hey, by the way, it could just be that. And I was like, yeah, that's a good point. Descrum683, hello. Howdy, hope you're doing well. Vulnerabilities. Oh, he does have immunities. So we might have to actually add that. Vulnerabilities, none. Actually, you know what? We'll just make these immunities. Immunities. And we'll just we'll just have the same thing happen, right? So we'll just boom, Control C, Control V, Control boom boom. So we got They don't want to see me succeed. So blinded, exhaustion, which we'll probably have to put a number by exhaustion. Frightened, unless it's just straight up immune. Paralyzed, and poison. Ooh, that punctuation is going to bother me if I don't fix that. Blinded, exhaustion, frightened, paralyzed, and poisoned. No, hold on. That would just kind of be resistances. Got a jet, have fun. Glenn, good luck with your session. Tell everyone I said hello. Yeah, that would be resistances in DC20, wouldn't it? Hold on, I'm gonna pull up the rule book. No, because it's immunity is different than a resistance. Hello, Sir Jakin. Hello, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Makes sense since it doesn't really have a cardiovascular system. I don't know. That's kind of the way I'm leaning with this. All right, let's convert our might, agility, charisma, and intelligence. So strength is going to be -3. Ooh, and then we'll decide if they get saves or not. So we got -3. Then we got Dex is +3. So 3. Charisma is a +5. So 5. And then intelligence and wisdom are 1 and 2. So we'll combine that for a total of 3. Alrighty. Hello from Kirby too. Hi Kirby. I'm making stat blocks. We're making a stat block for here in Intellect Devourer. Little brain guy with legs. This thing. Oh, I hate the way Google does images now. That thing. The little brain with the bird legs. Creepy little dudes. Yeah. Wait, why's the Google thing popcorn? Celebrating popcorn? Okay. Hello, finally my first time on your stream. Had more ideas upon Strahd. Maxim Smirnov. How you doing? Hope you're doing... Oh wait, are you the one that left the wonderful Strahd update comments? Here, let me go. I want to say that is... Because your name sounds familiar. Yes. Okay, you had the great like Strahd suggestions. Yeah, this was such a great comment because I immediately went back into like my own personal Strahd stat block and I was like, I can see this. This was discussed a great amount on the stream. we broke this down in the part 2 stream and we're like, okay, we like this, let's take this, let's tweak this one a little bit, let's add this into it. So really great suggestions, really great feedback. I really appreciated it. This camera's getting dark, that's my bad. Boop. There we go, we bumped the ISO. Yeah, I had some more ideas. You have more ideas? I'm scared. All right. So level 3, your prime modifier is going to be... That doesn't matter. I mean, you're still going to have... All right, so in DC20, it's half your level rounded down for the saves. So honestly, you know what? We'll give them a save of -2. And then everything else I'll just leave.
So 1 save. You know what? No, it's 2 saves. Intelligence or agility. Let's make them both the physical ones. So 4. Okay. Skills, senses, and languages. As far as skills go, we got stealth. Very easy. Oops. So we got stealth. All right. So stealth would fall under our agility. So that would be 3 plus now, so 2, so 5. Oh, so just like the actual stat block. Stealth plus 5. Senses has blind sight and passive awareness. Okay, so it would have blind sight of 12 spaces. Blind sight, 12 spaces because DC20. And then it has a passive awareness of 8 plus prime, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, so 13. No, wait, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. No, wait, 13's right. What am I thinking? Languages, understands deep speech but can't speak, has a telepathy of 60 feet. So we might say, I actually don't think deep speech is a language. Deep speech, I can't spell today. That's what. Telepathy, 12 spaces. So deep speech, but cannot speak. Telepathy, 12 spaces. Let's catch up on a little bit of chat. Kirby says, "Oh, it's so cute." Is it? You're the second person to say it's cute on stream, so I guess Intellect Devourers are cute. She says she wants one for a familiar. She often thinks creepy things are adorable. Okay, I guess that checks out then. An Intellect Devourer as a familiar. That'd be a really interesting concept. Yeah, I've seen the second part and wanted to explain that thing about the Shadow Cloak was made to prevent players getting straight into abusing Radiant vulnerability. I can kind of see it. Vien says hi. Howdy. Also, being able to shapeshift through reactions would make him more playable for the GM. Shapeshifted, yeah. Yes. Right now, me and my friend are working upon a Monstronomicon, some kind of guideline of how to create monsters. Dude, anything DC20... Here, we'll go to big screen for this. Anything DC20 monster related, I am eating up right now. Mortal and Jado's Notion page about how to build monsters is great, especially because they're working on the DC20. They're working with the DC20 team. Their guide about how to convert 5e to DC20, super great. Which, by the way, if any of you are curious about looking at that guide, ! Mortal in the chat will take you straight to that Notion page. Claudio also has some really helpful tables about where damage and checks and things like that should be for monsters. Honestly, the thing that I'm craving the most right now with DC20 monsters is a giant list of attacks, maneuvers, reactions, apex actions and features, a giant list of all of those things, so I can pick and grab what's applicable to the monster and then insert any flavor text that needs to be there. Which actually reminds me, with the Strahd stat block, one of my gripes with it was that there's so much happening with the stat block, which I forgot was a gripe of mine with 5th edition. So
with the 5e conversion, like monster conversion streams, I'm going to do my best to convert them as 1-to-1 as I can. But for personal monsters, or maybe even like personal monster building streams, right? I definitely want to make it so that like I'm in combat, I'm looking at the sheet, I have like a few great options that represent the monster really well. Boom, run it. Because I was looking at the Strahd one the other day, and I was like, there's way too much happening with Strahd. But yeah, Monsternomicon sounds great. I'm sorry I got here late. So you are converting 5e to DC20. I have not played that system yet. It's super cool. The rules are, there's a free PDF of the rule set on the Dungeon Coach's website. It's the previous version. So right now we're on 0.8. That version is on 0.7. But if you want to buy the current set of rules, you can exclamation point DC20 in the chat, and then I get a little piece of that. I get a little bit of support with that. But I honestly would recommend read the free rules first, see if you like the vibe of it, and then if you want to be up to date with the current rules, make a purchase. But yeah, they're free. Also included for free is a wonderful one-shot that you can run and test out the system, as well as the character sheets. I remember you talking about a DC20 campaign. When is that coming? It's looking like November, because it's not a live stream thing, even though I'd love to try that out sometime. I'd love to do DC20 live each week that people can just tune into. But right now they're pre-recorded, so that way I can cut all the dead space and just have it be getting to the point as much as it possibly can. We added a bunch of animations for what the dice roll results are going to be. So if their number will pop up on the screen of what they rolled. If it's a success, it turns green. If it's a failure, it turns red. The character art is super cool. It's almost in the finalization process. Should be finalized this week, and then patrons will get to see that first. We just recorded interviews, or not interviews, but like a little bit of like after session reactions. So patrons, as soon as episode 1 is finished, they're gonna get to see episode 1 before YouTube does, like months early, right? And then they'll also get to see the behind the scenes, like 15 minutes after we finish recording. So our fresh thoughts on the session. How are we feeling about it? What are some of the characters' theories about what's going on? And I'm doing little Hero Forge animations for it, and I'm super pumped about it. Right now, I can tell you that I came up with the idea of adjusting 3 things: ranks, minion, mid, and boss, role, soldier, and lurker, and ancestry. So you can just take traits from each and make up your own monster. That seems pretty simple in a good way. I like that. Probably I can make my own DC20 Strahd and then present it in your Discord. Absolutely you can. I think you said people can share their monsters there. 100%! Exclamation point. Discord if you're not there already. I am broke. I have to wait 2 months, I guess. Oi! Get the free version. Get the free version of DC20. Here, I'll put it in the chat. Give me a second. Dungeon Coach DC20 free. Boom. Here we go. You wanna play test it? You wanna see the rules? Boom! There you go. There it is in the chat. Sabia, Kirby, and I will look, and if we decide it's for us, of course, we'll definitely buy it through you. Stop. Stop it. Also, I'm translating DC20 Alpha to Russian. Whoa. That's huge. That's cool. To Russian? It's wild to think that it's at a point where like it can be in multiple languages now. Like it's not just like, I don't know, that just made it feel like slightly more official. I don't know. That's cool. That's really cool. Just finished 53%. That's awesome. I meant about your campaign. Can't get your patron. Wait, did I not answer the campaign part? The campaign comes out in November. The patrons will be getting it early as it comes out. So as soon as I finish an episode, boom, it goes on Patreon. Then YouTube and everywhere else will get it November. So it'll be YouTube, Spotify, maybe Apple Music, as well as some others. But yeah, that'll start in November, and then it'll release once a week, 4 episodes. Yeah, I'm very excited about it. Boom. Alrighty. We have deep speech but cannot speak. Telepathy 12 spaces. That works for me. Features. Alright, let's see what our feature is. We have Mind Sense, which we are going to copy and paste, and then we're going to do what we have been doing, which is we're going to tweak it once we have it, right? Boom. First off, goes right here. Mind Sense. The Intellect Devourer, which I want capitalized. I want all important things capitalized in these stat blocks. That's one of the things I like about the new 2024 5th edition rulebooks. The stat blocks have everything capitalized that's important. The Intellect Devourer is aware of the presence of creatures within 300 feet of it. I totally know what 300 divided by 5 is. That sounds like it's 60 or something. Divided by 5. I was right, it's 60. The Intellect Devourer is aware of the presence of creatures within 60 spaces of it. That have an intelligence of 3 or higher. It knows the relative distance and direction of each creature, regardless of physical barriers. See, the Intellect is aware of the presence of creatures within 60 spaces of it that have an intelligence of 3 or higher. And I feel like we can just say, and knows the relative distance and direction of each creature regardless of physical barriers. Creatures under the effects of magics that protect the mind cannot be detected by the Intellect Devourer. So, Psychic class is going to really have an advantage here. I think that's fine. I don't really think it needs 2 features. So I'm actually going to say there's no shift cells up, is there? Insert cells and shift. There's not, so we'll just boom, delete cells and shift up. There we go. All right. Kirby is so excited to see your animations. She just loves making edits, and she said maybe one day she will be good enough that you two can collab. Kirby, listen, Kirby. With the edits and humor that you have right now, you are quickly going to outpace Duke and I in terms of editing. You have a very specific kind of humor that I very much enjoy watching edits of. And unfortunately, it is a curse that I'm not able to edit in that way. So you are very quickly going to outpace us. It's not going to be like you collabing with Duke and I. It's going to be like us collabing with you.
because you're going to be the rock star at the edits. To be honest, D&D monsters seem so boring in terms of gameplay, probably because of lacking rolls. Well, it's also because half that monster manual is like bite attack, claw attack. And that's it. Half those monsters can be summed up by just those two actions. So 100% they're a little boring. Just a wee bit. All right, let's add our level 3 stats. So we just said this is a low one. So it's going to have a check of +5, 2 damage, and 3 action points. Nice. All right. I thought this was the music from Batman v Superman for a second. Attack is +5. It's going to have a save DC of 14. Because that's 10 +1. Yep. And then it said it had a speed of 40 feet. Huh. Well, we know what that number is. 8 spaces, baby! And then for right here, you know what? Actually, this would be the perfect place. So I'm going to center this, make this go right here. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to say it has, oops, 3 actually no, we'll just say action points 3. No way that's bold. That's 12. Give me 12. Boom. Action points 3. Adding that little spot right there. I also think 5e monsters are boring. Yup. So I do think that being able to give monster roll traits really brings some fresh air and new combat decisions. Comedy fan 1095. What's up? Doesn't Mind Sense just True Sight 40? Or isn't Mind Sense just True Sight 40? It might be. Let's actually look into what the technical definition is. Let's open the core rules. And we're going to look up True Sight. True Sight. Oh, y'all can't really see that. Creatures with True Sight have the ability to see things that are normally imperceptible out of a specified range. They can see through normal and magical darkness, see into the ethereal plane from the material plane, and vice versa. Okay, so not necessarily True Sight. So in a sense, yes, it's True Sight, but the key difference is the Intellect Devourer can't see like through magical stuff, right? It's mind vision. The only things that should only have bite / claw, etc. are normal animal, beasts, and dinos. I agree. All right. Speaking of the Intellect Devourer, we got our claws. Of course we have a claw attack. It is a melee weapon attack. It's a +5 to hit, whatever. We just need to see it does slashing damage. Okay, super easy. All right, let's go ahead and edit this. Easily, that's just gonna be 1 action point. And then we're gonna say, claws. That is not italicized. Claws. Melee. 2 damage. Oops. Boop. 2 slash damage. 2 slashing damage. Easy. Easy peasy, just like that. Also, I think it should see creatures with a 0 intellect. it should see creatures with a 0 intellect? I think I disagree with that one. Because then we're making a mechanical thing of like, it can see someone who has a 0 for intelligence, right? But then it can't see the people who have a 1 or a 2 in intelligence. But then 3 and higher it can. The point of Mind Sense is that it's attracted to the creature with the highest intelligence, and then that's what eventually lures it into a whole party of a variety of intelligent creatures. At that point, if it's a 0, it might as well just be like, it can see creatures with an intelligence of 0 or higher. 60 spaces? That's sensitive for no eyes and just antenna? Yeah. Yep. 60 spaces. So in DC20, you could technically say that each square on a grid is 5 feet. So 5, 10, 15, 20. Here, we'll actually use this tile, right? So this tile, right? In D&D, this would be 5, 10, 15, 20. Like each square would be 5 feet. In DC20, that's still the case, but we refer to everything as spaces. So 1 square equals 1 space. So if your character, like this Intellect Devourer, has a speed of 8, they can move 8 squares any direction. And that's the key difference. We just say, instead of saying 5 feet, 50 feet, 30 feet, we just say this many spaces. You count the squares. Because -2 intellect is like 7 intellect in D&D. What? In D&D, it sees all creatures with above a 3 intellect. A -4 intelligence in DC20. In D&D, it sees all creatures with above a 3 intellect. A -4 intelligence in... So we're saying it should just be able to just see creatures with 0 or higher? I still don't know about that. I don't know. I'm not super sold on that one. Yup. What is our second action? Consume mind. This is where the fun begins. We will for sure have to tweak this because of just the nature of it. Alright, so we'll go ahead and rename this, right? This is Consume Mind. We'll say this costs 2... Whoa. We'll say this costs 2 action points. We'll ignore that part for now. The Intellect Devourer chooses 1 creature it can see within 30 feet of it that has an intelligence of 3 or higher. So then that would have to reflect the other thing. So target must succeed on a DC 13 intelligence saving throw. Okay, so immediately we need to start off the stat block with spell check versus target's intelligence save. If the target fails the saving throw by 5 or more, its intelligence score is reduced to 0. Actually, you know what we would do, right? We'd probably make that an add-on. So we would break this up into an attack and then a maneuver, like an enhancement. I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay. So this is... you don't have to make saving throws for damage. So this is going to be we're going to say melee. And then we're going to say 2 damage to psychic damage. 2 psychic damage. Chooses a creature it can see within 30 feet of it that has an intelligence of 3 or higher. We'll probably get rid of that for now. Target must succeed on a DC13. If the target fails a saving throw by 5 or more, its intelligence score is reduced to 0. Target is incapacitated until it regains at least 1 point of intelligence, either from completing a long rest or from a lesser restoration spell. Yeah, so we have Consume Mind, melee to psychic damage. I think that's how I'm going to start it off for now. I would like to give a mental save against Dazed. Success +5, heavily dazed. Success +10, stunned. I could see that working out. Making save and enhancement is reasonable. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Consume Mind. Because, like, right, if I'm running this, I have my 3 action points I can spend. So I'll spend 1 on the claw attack, and then maybe 2 on the Consume Mind, right? Just bring the damage down as much as I can, and then when I feel like it's a strategic moment, Consume Mind as my attack, and then add the enhancement on as, all right, I'm going to make you do a save, and then hopefully you pass out. And then we had one more action, Body Snatcher. Yeah, we're gonna have to make Body Snatcher a whole thing. So Control C. Insert cells and shift down. Body Snatcher should honestly be, I would say that's 3. It's kind of an extreme thing, right? Body Snatcher. It chooses 1 incapacitated creature within 5 feet of it and engages it in a contest of intelligence. Yeah, okay. So immediately we would format this as spell check versus target intelligence save. Spell check versus target's intelligence save. And then on a failure, we start doing the other things. Actually, you know what? Let's quickly add ranged. So let's actually, we can probably just format it as 1 space, spell check versus target's intelligence save. Then we go into all the text. I don't think making saves fail have long-term effects like lowering your intelligence is a good game. I don't think making saves fail have long-term effects like lowering your intellect is a good gameplay thing. On the other hand, making target heavily dazed would give it disadvantage for intelligence saving throw to then get stunned to let it devour your mind. Lurking but enjoying. Thank you for the lurk. Wait, so are you saying not to do body snatching? I don't know, 'cause I don't know. Part of the appeal of the body snatcher running it is the concept of like these are dangerous because it lowers your intelligence. It's not just, oh, I'm a little bit dazed, I'm a little bit stunned. It's like these things have like consequences. Here. Let's copy paste this and then figure out what all we need to change with it. Let's see, the Intellect Devourer will already, I need to capitalize that. So we'll just say failure. Whoa! Open up a new tab. Whoa. Oh my gosh. It overpowers the creature's overpowers the creature's mystical defenses if it beats the target on a contested intelligence check. So we would just get rid of that actually and just go straight to the it devours the Intellect Devourer. The Intellect Devourer magically consumes the creature's brain and teleports into its skull, taking full control of the target's body. While inside the creature's skull, the Intellect Devourer has total cover against attacks and other effects outside of the host. The Intellect Devourer, we can just say it retains. It retains its intelligence. There is no wisdom. There doesn't need to be. They're like the same thing. It retains its intelligence and charisma scores, as well as its comprehension of languages. So its comprehension of language, its telepathy, and its traits. Otherwise, it inherits the target's statistics, memories, and knowledge, including spells and languages. If the host body drops to 0 health points, we call them health points in DC20. Boo, 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 boo. Health points. The Intellect Devourer. My cat is screaming in the back. He's like, "Let me in! Let me in! No!" The Intellect Devourer must leave the host. It can also be magically forced from the host's body by means of a protection from evil and good spell, which we don't have anything like that at the moment, so cut that for now. We'll figure out what to do. The Intellect Devourer can choose to leave the host at any time by spending 5 feet of its movement. You know what? We'll probably make that like a damage thing, kind of like the Crassus stat block for the one-shot, and make it so that after maybe X amount of damage, it will exit the host. The Intellect Devourer can choose to leave the host at any time by spending one space of its movement and then teleporting to an unoccupied space within 3 spaces of the target. Unless its brain is restored within 1 round, the body dies. The body is destroyed? I don't know. It's definitely long. There's definitely ways to shorten it up. Let's catch up on a little bit of chat. No, body snatching is great, but monster needs to make target fail. I just had a stroke. Hey, let me go back to this for a second. But monster needs to make target fail heavily their save to get stunned and then get their mind devoured. So you as a monster have your own pattern of making a losing save. I think I see what you're saying. So we're talking about like adding, like, this is like an enhancement option to make it so you're not always just doing claws and consume mind, but you're adding other things on it to make it easier to do body snatcher. I think, if I'm understanding you correctly, I think that's what you're saying, which I agree with. Would it have to match the size of the victim's brain in order to be successful? Nope, it does not. It's just magic. It's one of those things that we just kind of magically, like woo! It magically teleports into the brain. Boop! Takes host. What I mean is that the monster needs first make a target lose the save a few times to make it stunned, since you need it to be stunned to eat its brain. Since you need it to be stunned to eat its brain. I'll read that back in a second. My brain hurts. Oh. Or does that not matter? Very funny point about the size of the brain. Okay, but that would be great. Imagine a high intelligence not matching, but a big brain physically successful. That is kind of a funny idea. Okay, so stunned. So right now we have Body Snatcher as one space. It's a spell check versus target's intelligence save. On a failure, the Intellect Devourer magically consumes the creature's brain and teleports into its skull, taking full control of the target's body. Let's go back to the original one. I think I see what you're saying about stunned. Chooses one incapacitated creature. Wait, incapacitated. Hold on. Let me look up something real quick. Incapacitated. You can't speak, concentrate, or spend action points. I totally did not add that into the thing. Spell check versus incapacitated targets intelligence saving throw. Incapacitated targets intelligence saving throw. Boom, that fixed it. Well, not stunned, but incapacitated, but since it can only make stunned, and stunned involves incapacitated. Let me actually read on stunned a little bit. Stunned. Automatically fail agility, might, and physical saves. You're also exposed. Attacks against you have advantage and incapacitated. You can't speak, concentrate. Oh my god, do we add stunned as the enhancement? I'm starting to think so a little bit. It's kind of a crazy powerful creature. How much health do they have again? 11? Okay, that's good. That's good. If they're going to have crazy good abilities like this, they should definitely have a lower health. All right, let's go back to the screen, and I want to see how I can shorten this a tiny bit more. It's one space. You know what? I'll just say range right here. Range, one space. Spell check versus incapacitated target's intelligence save. On a failure, the Intellect Devourer magically consumes the creature's brain and teleports into its skull, taking full control of the body. While inside the creature's skull, the Intellect Devourer has total cover against attacks and other effects. I feel like we can just start that off as the Intellect Devourer, which we need to capitalize. The Intellect Devourer has total cover against attacks and other effects outside of the host. It retains its intelligence and charisma scores, as well as its comprehension of language, its telepathy, and its traits. Otherwise, it inherits the target's statistics, memory, and knowledge, including spells and languages. If the host's body drops to 0 health points, the Intellect Devourer must leave the host. It can also be magically forced from the host's body by means of a protection from good and evil spell being cast on it, which we don't have in DC20 at the moment. The Intellect Devourer can choose to leave the host at any time by spending 1 space of its movement and then teleporting to an unoccupied space within 3 spaces of the target. Unless its brain is restored within 1 round, the body dies. Okay, so that's the part I want to triple check. The body dies. Oh my goodness, Fredward from iCarly is here. Meow meow, meow meow. In D&D, it makes you stunned if you fail an intelligence save, but what I offered to give is on a success, dazed, success plus 5, heavily dazed, success plus 10, stunned. I can see that. I don't know that I would go to the plus 10, though. I'd probably do... I don't know, because you never see that in a stat block. You never see it... Because when you do the success and fail in the stat blocks, the plus 5s means that for every 5 it goes, right? So to have it be formatted as like plus 5 and then a plus 10, that's already... It's already a lot. Or not necessarily a lot, but then it starts to break away from the current DC20 stat block design philosophy. Well, it can literally eat your brain if you're stunned. Let's see. If the host body drops to 0 health points, the Intellect Devourer must leave the host. The Intellect Devourer can choose to leave the host anytime by spending 1 space of its own movement. Okay, so if it chooses to leave... Okay, so let's think this through currently, right? So in DC20, when you are at 0 health points, you don't go unconscious. You enter what's called Death's Door. Every character has a Death Door's threshold, and that's basically how much negative health you can go before you're dead. So for most characters, right, that's going to be -3. Once you hit -3 health, you're gone. With the way this works right now, right, it says if the host body drops to 0 health points, the Intellect Devourer must leave the host. But it also says the Intellect Devourer can choose to leave the host at any time by spending 1 space of its movement and then basically teleport, right? So if a DM or Game Master is really evil, right, what you could do is enter a body in the next round, immediately leave, even if they're not on 0 health points or Death's Door. It's still the character with no brain inside. Currently, as the stat block stands, that could happen, and then if they don't fix that empty head issue within 1 round, they're dead. Which, again, is part of the reason you're fighting, like, Intellect Devourers are considered so deadly, right? Because they don't have to get you to 0 health points. So I guess if we keep that, that's true to the design. But my worry right now is we're not getting the spell overhaul for DC20 until 0.10. We're on 0.8. So that's going to be a minute. And currently, as spells go, there's not a way to magically restore like it suggests in the original 5e stat block, right? Protection from good and evil is what it recommends. And then immediately in the 5e stat block, it says, if the host's devoured brain is restored, parentheses, only possibly with a wish spell, parentheses. So that's kind of crazy. My only problem is I love this feature. I've used this feature. It's deadly. It makes the table, it adds a lot of tension to the table. It's like, oh my God, these went from being, oh, they're so cute to, oh my God, I'm about to lose my character. So they're really great. But in DC20 at the moment, there's not a solution for that, which I worry about. What I don't like about D&D monsters is the thing that their abilities are lore and flavor explaining, but it's completely broken as a combat ability that should make a fight fun and arcade. I can see that. That solves death saves? A little bit. So death saves in DC20, when you enter death's door, you immediately gain 1 point of exhaustion, and you always have 4 action points in the game. You spend your actions to move, attack, defend yourself, defend others, things like that. You immediately drop down to 1 action point. So even though you're at 0 health, you're still standing up, you can fight, but you only have 1 action point, and you've gained exhaustion 1, which means your checks, saves, all of that are basically reduced by how much exhaustion you have. So at the end of your turn, though, you still make a death save, right? When you fail, take a point of true damage. So then you're at 0, but then you're at -1, right? Ooh. Death saves are no joke. They're not like they are in a 5e where you can just kind of like sleep them away. Like combat's over. Oh, no need to make death saves anymore. It's like, no, they last until you're healed to some kind of degree. Someone takes their time to heal you. It's great. I love DC20. I could talk about DC20 for hours. I could talk about it for hours. All right. So how do we just say like suck it up, Buttercup? Should we just go ahead and list a spell that's already there? That's like a health related spell. What should we do? There's not a solution right now because it's literally they have 1 round to fix the brain, but how do you fix the brain? Medicine check? That's not gonna super work. Cure wound? Maybe cure wounds? Maybe it's as simple as that. Cure wounds. Just make it 1 HP from dying and bleeding at the same time, so your party members have only 1 round to bring you to 1 HP. 1 HP from dying and bleeding at the same time. So your party members have only 1 round to bring you to 1 HP. I don't know. I like the bleeding part. I like the 1 point dying thing. A greater restoration type spell. Yeah, but we don't have that in DC20 yet. Right now we have like a whole list of like starter spells, like spell lists. But they're not the spells that we're going to be seeing like totally in the game. There's supposed to be a massive spell overhaul in update 0.10. But we're not at 0.10 yet. I like the bleeding though. I like the bleeding idea. That's kind of sticking with me. Okay, I'm thinking if we stay true to like the spirit of the 5e stat block, I think we just have it be cure wounds for now. Instead of like protection from good and evil. Like as long as you have an instance of cure wounds placed on you, your brain is back. That's kind of the closest thing we have for now. That's as 1-to-1 5e to DC20, right? Without switching and changing too much of it. I still feel like I could make this shorter. Taking full control of the target's body. We don't need to say the intellect power again. Full control of the body. Mark my words, this will be shorter. It It has total cover against attacks and other effects outside of the host. It retains its intelligence and charisma scores, as well as its comprehension of language, its telepathy, and its traits. Otherwise, it inherits the target's statistics, memories, and knowledge, including spells and languages. If the host body drops to 0 health points, the Intellect Devourer must leave the host. The Intellect Devourer can choose to leave the body anytime by spending 1 space of its movement and then teleporting to an unoccupied space within 3 spaces of the target. Unless its brain is restored within 1 round, the body dies. Unless its brain is restored within one round by the Cure Wounds spell, the body dies. Maybe it's as simple as that. 1 space of its movement and then teleporting out of space within its target. Unless its brain is restored within 1 round, which I want to capitalize, emphasize that for the Dungeon Master. 1 round by the Cure Wounds spell, the body dies. Definitely a ticking clock. What I meant is that you will die at the start of your turn, so you have to be healed at least up to 1 HP to prevent from dying. Oh. Well, in that case, you don't even need bleeding, right? If you're just going to die at the start of your next turn. But I like the idea of, like, if the target isn't at least healed by 1 point of... Because of... Yeah, let's try that. Let's try that. Unless the target is healed 1 HP... it dies at the start of its next turn. Is that how we should phrase it? Unless the target is healed 1 HP, it dies at the start of its next turn. But now I want to add flavor text. Because I can see someone immediately reading, like, why is that the case? It's like, well, because the brain is missing. How do we know the brain is missing? It's like, well, it magically consumed the brain. I guess it says it consumes the brain in the beginning of the text. Not specifying the source of healing, I can perfectly see being healed with potions or something. Potions! I totally forgot about potions. Yes, 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 yes. All right, so let's do the success thing. All right, so that's all like the failure, right? So then we have success, right? Oops. The creature is dazed. No, wait. Dazed is not a good thing. No, wait. No, dazed would be better than death in this scenario. The creature is dazed. Yes, question mark? Is this what we were talking about? Or are we saying make the dazed thing a totally different thing? Amazing, you made it just as I saw this, but probably make it up to 1 HP to not leave it in negative. Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's better. Unless the target is healed up to 1 HP, it dies at the start of its next turn. On a success, the creature is dazed. You have disadvantage on mental checks. That should say mystical checks. Heavily dazed. You also have disadvantage on mystical saves. So instead of having your brain consumed and then you're dying, instead you just have disadvantage on mystical saves. I think I'm happy with that. 1 action point for Claws, 2 for Consume Mind, 3 for Body Snatcher, and then we make the rest of Consume Mind an attack enhancement down here, as well as a saving throw to make intelligence saves a little bit harder. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so what was the rest of the Consume Mind that we left out? Chooses 1 creature you can see within 30 feet that has an intelligence of 3 or higher. Must succeed on a DC 13 intelligence saving throw or take this much psychic damage. If it fails the saving throw by 5 or more, its intelligence score is reduced to 0. Oh wait, are we saying this was the dazed thing? Oh wait, no. 5 or more, the intelligence score is reduced to 0. The target is incapacitated until it regains at least 1 point. Yes. I think I see what you're trying to say. I wouldn't make anything on this. Yep. All right, so we'll have to make up a little name. So this is called Consume Mind, right? So we'll call this, what are we calling this? We're gonna call this, we'll call it something in a second. So this will be, let's see, how do we format this like the other thing? Monster maneuvers. Slowed. Hinder. Impaired. Target has disadvantage on. We could literally just add dazed, right? Consume thoughts. Brilliant. That's a good name. That's a great name. Yep. Yeah, that's what it's gonna be. Consume thoughts. What is that random E doing? Consume thoughts. Yep. I like that. Spell check versus target's intelligence save. So, boom. Spell check versus target's intelligence save. All right. Success. Its intelligence score is reduced to 0. Gosh, no. Target is incapacitated until it regains at least 1 point of intelligence. All right. I think Consume Thoughts should gradually do it. Right? So let's say like on a success, target's intelligence score is decreased, lowered by 1. And then we have success plus 5. Target's intelligence score is lowered is lowered by 1. Or should it be... Or should it be on a success, it lowers it to 0, but on a failure, it lowers it by 1 point. Success, dazed. Success 5, heavily dazed. Success 10, stunned. Since heavily dazed gives disadvantage on mystical saves, that's my suggestion. I really like that format. It's the +5 to +10 thing that gets me, because I haven't seen a stat block do that yet. We could try it. On a success, target is dazed. Success +5. Target is heavily dazed. Success +10. Yeah, it feels weird to type. Target is stunned. So I wonder, why does the Devourer in Baldur's Gate not attack? Is it saying the character is low intelligence, or it has just eaten, or does it have the brain worm? I don't know. I haven't gotten to that part of the story. I haven't actually had a chance to play Baldur's Gate for myself. The only times I've ever seen it played are watching other people stream it, or when Duke was streaming it, but then that stopped. So I don't know that I've actually seen anything past Act 1. If it's like the movie, I'm gonna guess it's because it thinks you're too low of an intelligence to bother with. It feels you have the brain worm. Oh, that's a good point. You have the little like tadpole thing. Honestly, you know what I'm kind of okay with? I'll double check one more time with monster maneuvers, but I kind of think I could have bleeding. Bleeding would help. 2 action points effects. Actually, no. I want to say bleeding, but I don't think so. I honestly think... Ooh. I honestly feel like we could just take these parts right here, right? And then just get rid of them. I honestly feel like you could just get away with like 1 attack enhancement. These 3 main actions. And then you're done. That's kind of how I feel about it at the moment. It's in Act 1, I think. Oh, is it? Are you talking about like when they're on the ship? It is what I have seen in the beginning. I haven't played it either. It's in the beginning of... Oh, it must be on the ship. I don't remember seeing them on the ship. It is a good question. Okay, good point. It doesn't want the brain worm or whatever it's called. The illithid. Yeah. It's basically like, oh, you're one of us. No need, right? Because illithids, intellect devourers, elder brains, they're all connected. Yeah, I think 1 enhancement is just enough as it gives so much conditions. I agree. All right, so if I... No, my M&M! No! No! Darn you, Timmy Turner! Oh, I found it. 30-second rule. I almost dropped it again. Y'all didn't see that. Y'all didn't see that. So GM isn't needed to track a lot of its abilities. Exactly. We accomplished the thing I was ranting about earlier. How there's too many things on the stat block where it's like, I'm not going to use all of these, right? Oh my gosh. He's off to make his rap career. Please. Okay, so what? No, don't eat it. Why? They're tasty. It's fine. Okay, but as far as like the stat block goes, I think this turned out. Oh, that's way too tiny. I mean, I think it's average. Anyways, I think this turned out pretty good. I think we got a lot of. I think this is pretty as one-to-one as we can with DC20, while still being respectful to what the Intellect Devourer is supposed to be. And Maxim, you had some really great insights. So huge thank you to Maxim in the chat. Huge thank you to everyone, but Maxim was really coming out like, here's an idea, here's an idea, here's an idea. It was great. Does this monster want a host, or does it just want to eat its brains? It's a little bit of both. It's kind of like a double-edged sword, right? So it wants the host, and it gets the host by consuming the brain, but eventually that host is going to die. It's basically like a parasite. Are you going to finish right now, or maybe create someone else? PG-13, PG-13. Gosh. I think that's going to be it for tonight. Just because it's already close-ish to when we usually wrap up the stream. And also because the wife is sick. So I'm going to make sure she's taken care of a little bit. She got COVID. So now she's stuck here for the rest of the week. But I did not get COVID. But I will be stuck here for the rest of the week. So, when question mark? I don't know. Alright, so real quick, all I'm going to do is just a little bit of last minute formatting with this. And then, if you want this Intellect Devourer to run in your games, or to just look at, !Discord in the chat to join the Swordplay and Sorcery Discord server. That's where we talk a lot about movies, TV shows, and that's where I post all of these monster stat blocks we create on the stream for free for you to look at, as well as this Google Sheets template that I made for the monster stat block. Although I'm already thinking of how I'm going to make it like a version 3 of the stat block, because there are definitely things I'm not a fan of with how I made this one. But for those of you who aren't in the DC20 community, right? Here, come here. There is a wonderful patron member who's doing some really cool monster work, right? And is taking their own time to build a website where you can build the monster stat block. And it just formats it for you. You just enter in the information, and it just formats it. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see this thing. I cannot wait. I freaking love. I almost fell back. Love doing this. I love doing this. Well done, man. This one was surprisingly complicated. That's what I'm finding with this series. The ones I'm thinking are like going to be super easy, barely an inconvenience. They're the ones that are usually like, wait, we gotta figure out what to do here. Everyone is helpful except me. I just make Jakin choke. Choke? What? No, I'll give your wife love. I will. Yeah, it's 2 a.m. for me. Oh my goodness. We enjoyed what I caught of the stream. I'll try to be more helpful next time. No, that you were helpful asking questions. Honestly, even just like teaching about like a new monster or asking specifics like, does it have to consume a brain of similar size? Can it consume a larger brain or smaller brain? Even things like that, I'm like, ooh, technically the answer is no, but that's a really cool concept that I could see be implemented as a mechanic. So yeah. But anyways, guys, here, let's get some better music. There we go. This stat block will be available later tonight. I just got to get the thumbnail made for it. This exported, and then it'll be in the Swordplay and Sorcery Discord server. If you aren't already, consider supporting us on Patreon. There's only one tier. It's $5, and it gets you access to the Chains of Laventria DC20 actual play, behind the scenes, and now there's an exclusive role in the Discord server, as well as an exclusive section just for the Patreon members. Just for us, just for you and me. One of the projects I have to start working on, I think I'm scheduled to work on it this week, end of this week, is my session 1 notes for the campaign given out to you guys. So you guys can see, how do I session prep? What is a session? How do I make session notes? Here's my only hint. I'm not going to show you because the patrons, it's for the patrons, right? I'm not going to show you, but I format my sessions like a movie script. That's all I'm going to say. Everyone, thank you so much for hanging out. I love all your faces, and I will see you real soon. Till next